Hello, everyone. Welcome to Investing with a Difference. I don't know if we are live yet, but I will wait for some more time so that we can share the stream around. I think it's been a long time. We haven't done this show. Thanks a lot for all of you who have been requesting it. And let me post this link if I can find it. Sorry, I'm doing this for the first time on the Zoom. We used to do this directly on YouTube. It looks like many of you have got this now. Let me go and make this link available on the channels. In the meantime, again, Happy New Year to all of you who are watching it recorded or joining a little late. Okay, YouTube wants to share some deals with me right now. I think they see that I'm joining after a long time. All right, we have got the link now going to be posted in the various Telegram groups, and we should be ready to go. Okay, once again, I think welcome everybody. Happy New Year again. This has been, I think, interesting times. The last show which we did as Investing with the Difference, that was, I believe, around early 2020. Things have changed quite a lot. We had some like very, very crazy year, means I'm sure. And with the EOS community, I think most of you had a frustrating year beyond the pandemic, but also what happened with the EOS price. I think the good news is, means I'm very excited to see the new channel popping up. That is the bullish channel focusing on EOS developments. And I always believe that a lot of good stuff has been happening. We ourselves have been developing. I don't know how many people have been following what we have been doing. So I think I did share some of the other, like we have been doing some other videos and so on for Blockstart Ventures, which is our venture fund. Let me actually show that to you guys again so that we have, like if some of you who have been following us on Blockstart Ventures, we are doing a series of webinars, educational webinars there as well. And if you want to join our latest webinar, that is going to be tomorrow on blockstartventures.com/events. You have a registration link. You can join us, ask questions, or later on you can watch us on the YouTube channel of Blockstart Ventures. So let's get back to investing with a difference. So I think this has been a long time. I believe, let me quickly check how many people are there on the live stream. We do have a few people, so I will keep looking at the chat here. So let's get the show rolling. And first of all, nothing better than to look at EOS price, because it's after a long time we are seeing some action. I hope it sustains, though, means it fizzles out very fast. It's not always been great looking at EOS token price in recent past. We are seeing some good move around $3.29. Overall, I think it has been very, very exciting year for crypto. If you are in like Bitcoin, I think we used to in Investing with a Difference, I think we have always talked about Bitcoin, and it's very, very interesting that last time when we were doing the show, we were at like maybe around $5,000 mark, and we have seen some amazing rally. Like we have broken past the 20K, which was the previous all-time high, and it just didn't look back from there. So it's 35,000, very big bull run. I think this is still, if you compare with the proportion when after the halving and after how usually the crypto market resets and gets to the new levels, I think it's a matter of getting the next, like identifying Bitcoin as the next asset class. So right now we are very close to $1 trillion market cap, especially with the alt rally. I think that is maybe the benchmark which can reset a lot of fund investors, and like in terms of allocating the assets. And as you saw, like the kind of Bitcoin dominance topped out around 70% or so. I think we are back to 68.2%, which is a great sign for alts. So I hope that that continues, because I think it's ultimately Bitcoin is pretty much like established asset right now in terms of where we are, in terms of like it's replacing gold. And we keep talking about this again, means I'm spending a lot of time on these discussions with our investors in Blockstart Ventures, so that shows up. Let's now start talking about EOS. I think as I said, there is a lot of exciting stuff happening. B1 coming out with teasers. Of course, again, it's difficult to know exactly what they're doing, but all this discussion about Profi, the discussion about bringing the liquidity. The reason I'm very excited about that is just very, very simple. Like, we have been developing in EOS for more than 2 years. We have been very excited about the technology. We have done our own products. I don't know if like if everybody has followed. We have done so many different things like a DApp account using LiquidApps, where we were able to provide easy access to enterprise applications to a blockchain account. We did Blocument. We are doing a lot of different products on EOS. And also, I think last year when I used to be on the shows, like, where Zach had hosted on Everything EOS, we talked about all the other enterprise stuff we did with Moonlighting, with many other similar projects. So I think it was never a question about technology. It was always a question about liquidity. It was always a question about what is like, how do we bring the investor into this ecosystem? How do we bring usage? And not just usage. I think there are a lot of negative sentiment is attached to the usage, like IDOS and all those projects which try to mine CPU and so on. But what makes the project successful, like Ethereum or something, is the liquidity, the money. And whether we like it or not, while EOS has a huge potential on enterprise side, the biggest benefit, like biggest use case today of crypto is in like finance world. I think it's still pretty much a fintech thing. And that's where I think EOS missed out. That's my view. And I think that's now Block One talking about the liquidity, talking about bringing that 240K Bitcoin, which they have accumulated, into EOS. Again, it's a question mark, but the tweet streams from Brendan Bloomer are suggesting that. I think that can change everything, because while the price of EOS was not moving, what happened in last 1 year, we had pretty solid projects. We had DeFi Box, we had all these new like peg tokens like PBTC and so on. And more importantly, things like USDT, like the supply of USDT increased by a huge amount in the EOS ecosystem. We are still nowhere close to where like Ethereum supplies are in terms of the liquidity which Ethereum has. But if you compare that, like from the EOS market cap perspective, I think these are all huge positives. So I think these are the things which we should all look at as the building blocks of what can make this overall ecosystem develop. And all you need is like liquidity. Once you bring in the liquidity, you can leverage all these tools which are being built. We have now like a DAO-based DeFi being launched in EOS. We have the swaps, we have the stable coins, we have everything what you need to make technology successful. Now, what is like, I don't know how many of you are participating in Ethereum DeFi, which is the building block of this rally. Like, if you go back, when did we really start moving up? That was based on all the various DeFi projects. So even if we go to CoinMarketCap, let's go and see the top projects, which are like, if we go back 1 year and we look at many of these projects did not exist. So let's scroll down. Means, of course, not in the top 20, but if you look at Uniswap, you look at Celsius, you look at Aave, you look at Synthetics. I mean, these are some projects which were either non-existent or too small to even be in this top 30, 40. This is the new money created in Ethereum DeFi, which is fueling this rally. And this is, I think, main reason what is happening right now is that money is being, like, profits are being taken, people are mining, using DeFi mining, they are generating new supplies of cash. Some people can always call it Ponzi, but again, that's always questionable, as we say, right? Means even the federal government is running Ponzi's by printing dollars every day. So it's a matter of defining what these projects are bringing as a value. And what we are seeing is the traditional finance is getting replicated in the crypto world now, where, of course, some projects are going with the principle of you don't need a collateral, like algo coins. I don't know, like those are not even in the top, but I'm sure that's the next wave which is happening in the winter of 2020 when it started. with the ESD, DSD, and all these FRAX and many other algo stablecoins. But before that, if you look at what are the top 50 tokens right now, many of these are DeFi and bringing the traditional finance into crypto. So this is driving the whole market, and that is what is missing in EOS. Like and all we need is liquidity injection. Either liquidity can come from users, which unfortunately, yes, we have kind of lack of interest from community right now. A lot of capital has gone away. But if you go back to the promises which we are seeing from Block One, that's a reason I think we are dependent on them, because they still are the biggest stakeholder in terms of the cash available. And we hope that more whales come in before that, because this will be a great opportunity. If they really deliver on this promise, the liquidity will be there and the tools are there to right now to benefit in EOS world. So this is my view. I think there is a great potential in 2021. EOS is continuously building. We have been part of that building process. We have done a lot of projects. I think many of you are already aware of it. And overall community is building. Means there is hardly I can say any other project which has been moving, of course, other than Ethereum, because Ethereum has been the benchmark of the smart contract platforms, where it is developing very fast, especially in the DeFi domain. But EOS has been developing in so many different domains. Like we had all these NFT domain. We have this even actual real world application, which I think Ethereum doesn't even care about, because you cannot run real world applications there. But a lot of real world applications have been built. And we are also building within Blockstart, and we are bringing investors in. We are doing a lot of such things. But I think more importantly, at this moment, the real movement happens because of DeFi, because that's big money. And the process of building enterprise application, real world application, is still going to take time. And it has to really mature in terms of the platforms have to mature, the technology has to mature. And those are the things which I think EOS is ahead of others. But in short term, it's just a matter of bringing the right liquidity to these existing DeFi. So by the way, I think few of you are watching, please feel free to ask questions. I'm not prepared with any material or anything to show today, because this was just a short notice. And I would give a shout out to I think Cheney and Zach and everybody who are doing a great job keeping the EOS content alive, creating this channel for Bullish. And I hope that people are going to join this, talk all the great things about what's going on. And I think that's what will define as a community. If we don't take it forward, if we are not really participating, we cannot rely on everybody else. Like we cannot rely, even if Block One bring liquidity, we need users. And as every day when I go back into, means as a venture fund, as an individual investor, and very different things which we do, we participate in Ethereum DeFi every day. Trust me, every time I go back there, and when I pay this $10, $20 fee for even a smallest of the actions, it just makes me feel so stupid. It's almost like the same thing which I used to feel before crypto, when I used to pay like 1%, 2% charges on the currency conversion, paying Swift fees and all kind of crazy stuff in banking. Ethereum is becoming very similar now. If you want to do a Uniswap, you have to pay like $50 or $60 fee right now, unless you're doing like Ethereum only. Like if you do one token to another, which is multipath, the fee can be going all the way up to $100. So it's not sustainable. And with the bull market, when Ethereum has gone like, from $200 to now over $1,000, they don't have a path in short term to even make it accessible to anybody. So even though there's a billions of dollars flowing into Ethereum DeFi, it's not for everybody. It's only for people who are moving 100 to 200K at least, or sometimes even those people are not making money, because to make money, you have to be in DeFi, you have to move the money very fast. You have to go and claim, and you have to do the timing of every hour of maximizing your yield. And if you're making $100 yield and you're paying that which is huge actually, $100 in a hour or a 1 day, if you annualize it, even for $100,000 investment, it's huge. But for every action, if you end up paying $50 or $100, then you don't gain anything. So and these are big numbers I'm talking about. I'm talking about 100K investment, and still they are paying everything in the fee. Now, these are the kind of things which make me believe that there is no other solution today. And all these things are possible today on EOS. They are already programmed, either already developed or under development, where all these things can be done for free or for a very, very low cost. So it's a no-brainer. If as long as you can bring the liquidity into the system, I don't see why EOS cannot be successful. And all the people who talk about, like, I don't think many of the people who in this ecosystem are focusing on, oh, there is a Polkadot or there is a Cardano. I don't even know, like, I cannot see them happening because they don't have a real product. They are not, means I'm sure these are great tech, they're all great teams, means we should not go and bash them for trying, because all of them are trying to do things for the betterment of the world. But the question here is, are they ready? Are they, like, EOS is up and running, improving every day for last 2 years. We are developing, and we see that it takes, like, whatever it takes to develop on EOS in a week, it takes very, very long time on something like Ethereum. Secondly, who will use it? Are you designing it for whales, or are you designing it for somebody like, just $10,000 kind of investor or average user? I think those are the kind of things which we need to focus on. So again, I think let's now, it's actually if you want to join the Zoom call, because I'm on the Zoom and streaming this, let me share the Zoom call itself. Let me see if I can do that. And if any of you want to join, we can bring you here. And you want to talk further about these things, because as I said, I'm not planning anything. I have not really been, like, we have been busy building, and we have not done any, like, any of these shows. It's been crazy year. I think most of you have been, working from home, schools not, closed, and you have to take care of the kids, you have to do your work and everything. It's not easy. So feel free to join and share your experiences in last 1 year, and we can talk further. But overall, I would say, coming back, because we have been covering a lot on EOS, I would like to say that we are still bullish. We are disappointed as investors, definitely. Means we should not just sugarcoat it. It has been a painful ride owning EOS tokens when rest of the market is going up. It has not been pretty, but technology-wise, potential-wise, and even today, I don't see how anybody else in this whole list of all the smart contract platforms can do anything. Like, even Ethereum today is not really successful to bring anybody else other than the big players. And I think that's where we still have all the potential. Because again, means what you need to understand is the real users. Like, if you see how many people have bought Bitcoin today, maybe 1% of the retail users. Even today, when we do surveys, like, we as because we have a venture fund, we keep doing these investor surveys. We talk to so many people. Very, very few people have invested in Bitcoin. Now, think about Bitcoin is a brand which everybody understands. Now, go from there and you talk about DeFi. DeFi is probably 0.01001% people who have really participated in DeFi. On the other hand, what is the market size for DeFi? DeFi is looking to replace your day-to-day banking services, day-to-day, your loans and your yield generation. All these things. These are kind of things which are probably millions times bigger than what Ethereum has created right now. And Ethereum is struggling right now, even if they talk about other kind of like Ethereum 2 and a lot of other things. Hello, I think welcome to the show. I think it's great to have more people joining. So what I was trying to say is that it's not going to be easy for anybody other than EOS right now to go and scale it. Means we are looking into other technologies also. Like, as a development team, we have been looking into projects like Polkadot. We have been even looking into Matic. We are looking into many other things which are targeted as level 2 or like layer 2 of Ethereum, and nothing is as solid as what we see in terms of easy to develop in EOS. So I think it's unfortunate the price has not moved and people have not really participated in that. So I think that's a challenge.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
So thanks for joining. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't know if you ever see my channel, but I have an EOS.io channel as well.
Wow, no, that's great to hear. No, I mean, as I said, like we have been developing so much, and I used to do these shows, and I haven't been keeping up with the social, social, and maybe became very inactive. So great to see more people doing it. And what is your view right now on EOS?
Well, it's nice to see the price move up a little bit, so hopefully people stop complaining.
Yeah, I think that's always the case. I would say price is a difficult thing. Means I think it's, even if it moves from here, it has so much to catch up, and there's so many more people who are probably would look to exit. Means I'm not saying that it will just go up in a straight line from here. It has a lot of ground to catch up.
Yeah,
In underperformance. But I think it's a matter of as I say, right, means the tools are here and development has happened. It's a question of bringing liquidity now, and I think that's where it's fair for the community to wait for block one overall, because they have the liquidity. But in general, if you see there are many other projects which have where it's a community generated liquidity also. So I think if we can keep the community together, if we can still make sure that people understand the development part and the technology part, and that still can move the needle right now, because it's nothing to give up on.
Yeah, I have some of my old videos about EOS, and I've been looking at the analytics, and I've seen some more traffic come in, so I think the interest is coming back.
Oh, really? That's great. No, good to hear that. All right, let's pick up some questions. I'm just looking at the YouTube comments. There's a comment from Roger saying, do you feel the general market sentiment for EOS has improved just in the past couple of days? I would say markets, like community sentiment or market sentiment, is difficult to measure. There has been, if you look at the price action, EOS is moving just like with any other forgotten assets. Like if you see right now, it's not like only EOS is moving. A lot of other things are improving also. Like if you look at Cardano, if you look at many other projects are moving big. So it's a phase. EOS is one of the arts which is still in top. And I think I highlighted in one of the other threads earlier, EOS is one of the only platform which got added to like this index, like the new ETF which was launched, which is trading as a 10 crypto, like top 10 crypto index. It's ahead of other smart contract platform in that. So I think that will definitely benefit when people start buying more of the assets, like a basket of crypto in a stock market. They are getting exposure to EOS, which is very, very positive, I would say. And recently what we saw with the Ripple delisting from almost everywhere because of the SEC action, these are the kind of things I think EOS is on a solid ground, and I think that should improve the sentiment in EOS. Yes, Bitwise. Thanks, Blocksmith, for reminding me of the name. Yeah, Bitwise Index. I think that is what I was referring to, and I think that is amazing. Like that is something which. Let me share the screen of the comment so that I'm seeing it all the time, so that we can respond to the comments, people who are not able to join. By the way, we posted the link for Zoom if you want to join live, like some of people here. Hi, Cody.
Welcome. Hey, what's going on, Ramon?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, brother.
All right. So let me go and share the live stream. It will not look live, but it will, at least we can see the comments and everything. And we can have the gallery view so that we can see all the various people here. All right, so there's another question here. I'm still getting my head around the use cases for forthcoming LiquidApps, Edge DSPs. Yes, okay, that's a very good question. So what is happening on LiquidApps? Means we, as you all know, means as a Blockstart, we have been one of the biggest DSPs on LiquidApps, and we are pretty excited about overall what's going on in terms of the development on Edge DSP. Means again, I would love to have Zach here. He's the best person to comment about all those things, what is going to come out in future, because he has been interviewing various LiquidApps people. Overall, I would say use cases are that anybody can run the node. You don't even need a chain. Like if you can think of LiquidApps as connecting everything, all different chains together, including EOS, and not even worrying about the base layer. And you can run, anybody can run and validate blocks from one blockchain to another. I think it's more like a layer 2 solution, I would say. And that is something which is very exciting. So let's see how that goes. Means it's still early tech. I think everything takes time to mature. As I say, like the development, sometimes we get too excited about announcements, but what we don't realize is the maturity of a technology which is new. It takes time. You cannot build a complex technologies in a day. And what LiquidApps is trying to solve, that is something which Ethereum has tried 10 different ways and failed. If you see, Ethereum used to have this plasma sharding. They had to they are talking about nice proof of stake, and like so many different ways they were trying, and they have so much funding, and they still are struggling to scale. So the way both EOS IO as block 1 is delivering as fast as the base layer, and LiquidApps is delivering at layer 2, I think combined these two technology, we are definitely like at a technology level, there is no comparison. It's a way ahead. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're way ahead of rest of the market, sometimes that hurts you in price because people are not able to catch up. People are not able to develop along with you. It's easier to develop on a slow platform versus a faster platforms. It's easier to develop on a single chain versus multi-chain. So all these things need to, I think the missing part is, how do you boost the developers community? How do you bring that funding? How do you bring the liquidity into the system? There is nothing lacking in the technology. There is nothing lacking in the, or let me not say lacking. When I think technology is like many years ahead. So let's not even talk from a negative perspective that not lacking. What I'm saying is technology is so far ahead that as a tech team, we love it. We believe that we can do so much. And of course, I think it at some point, hopefully, this will matter. Where like because ultimately, means I keep going back like as a like part of investor community. Like we also run, as I said, we run venture funds and we do all these things day-to-day basis. We are also participating very actively in Ethereum DeFi. We feel the need for that every day. We are seeing that it's not going to work out the way things are going. Even for a big move like a $50,000 or $100,000, these fees are hurting right now. Ethereum fee are hurting even a big investor. It's not no longer a question of whether you are a whale or not. Even like now, it's only for mega whales now. The Ethereum DeFi is only for people who can move a $500,000 or $1 million, and that is creating a lot of issues. But again, I would like to remind you, like if you want to learn more about, I don't want to go into Ethereum DeFi here because I think this is mostly the EOS community. So if you, in general, the DeFi landscape, if you want to understand, do join us on the webinar tomorrow. So I will plug it again because, of course, we are putting a lot of effort into this from our Blockchain Ventures. So do register and let us know if you have any questions on DeFi. But overall, I think it's a matter of, again, going back to the question of LiquidApps, I think it's one of the most relevant technology right now in terms of scaling, in terms of connecting different chains. And the only way we can successfully bring blockchain to or DeFi or all these new use cases to every user in the world is where we don't worry about a single blockchain, because Ethereum will not be able to handle it. Even EOS will not be able to handle it as a single chain if you have those millions of users coming and accessing these services.
There's a lot of people here talking about decentralization, but I feel like, I mean, decentralization it never ends. So it's, you know what I mean? It's going to evolve over time.
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
Means decentralization is also a very broad word, right? Means for some people, decentralization, like if you are getting opinion of 2 more people, you are happy. And for some people, even 100 are not enough. So it's a very subjective thing. So unfortunately, we use it in blockchain world very loosely, like decentralized project or not. So it's a matter of providing value, providing trustless environment. And some people and some use cases will be happy with just 2 nodes running it or 3 nodes running it, and some will need hundreds of them. Like when you're running Bitcoin, you need as many as you can because you're talking about gold, you're talking about real cash and store of value, which you cannot allow a few people to just take over and run away with it. On the other hand, when you're running a basic messaging platform, you don't care that much. So these are the kind of things I think decentralization, I would say, is we should not even worry about. We should worry about what is the, like, what is the end goal of each use case. And I think that's, again, means I keep going back to LiquidApps, which is one of the best technology defined for how do you configure your own decentralized world. You don't have to go and be plugged into the layer one of a solution, which is hard coded for a certain way of decentralizing your use case. So I think all these things are pretty much maybe next level in terms of futuristic. But yeah, we love developing on it. But in addition, we are also worried about are we too ahead in terms of technology? Like maybe it's so far ahead that people are not able to catch up.
I'm really excited about Edge DSP use case, because one of the things that I think with Edge DSP is going to be really good is it's going to lower the barrier of entry so much. And I think what we saw with Bitcoin and Ethereum that got a lot of people excited early on and bootstrapped the network effect was the fact that anybody could become a miner. And I think the fact that anybody can become a DSP is going to bring a sort of virality that I really expect that to happen when more people do it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a matter of, I don't even know, like when we do apps, when we talk to enterprise, everybody has a different view on what is needed. Like you will see a lot of people are concerned about why they're using, like, private chain, why Voice is using their own chain, why, these different use cases are implemented in different way. We need to understand that this is how it will evolve. Everybody will have a different view of what is needed to make them successful. And public blockchains are, I think, plays the biggest role in money. And I think that's why where EOS is lacking, because we missed out on the DeFi, we missed out on the liquidity. It was not easy to connect. Like we don't have stable coins in EOS enough. Like USDT came very late. It was not enough. So that's why DeFi booted up late. But once it happened, if you see it, in last 6 months, we have seen so much progress in EOS on DeFi itself, which is, yes, Ethereum is way far ahead because they have the liquidity. They have that support from big exchanges. And I think that's where I am hoping, like when Block One talks about ProFi, when they are talking about this whole liquidity being brought into EOS, I just hope that they deliver on it. Means I think that will change our ecosystem, like the EOS ecosystem. That's what I would say. Shaheen has a question: how do we bridge the gap between EOS and Ethereum community? How do we get? I don't think we need to bridge the gap because I have tried this, and let's be frank, means there's still a lot of maximalism. Ethereum people would not want to accept anything else. They understand there are limitations to Ethereum, but they have their own roadmap. They want to solve the problem their own way. When you say how do we bridge the gap, probably we should also do the same thing. We should not be, I think we did, like as EOS community, there was a lot of comments about, oh, this is an Ethereum killer. So it was built in, like when EOS was launched, and the way Ethereum and EOS community always had this conflicting opinions, I think that is very difficult to change. But I think that when you say community, probably you're talking about those people who understand the technology, and there are very few people. But if you look at the end user, does he care? Means the way to bridge the community is where we provide value to the end user who will not bother whether it's Ethereum or EOS. Like if you are, what is the use case of Ethereum right now? If you're talking about lending, the stable coins, transfers of currency from one place to another, that's what Ethereum is being used for. So, and when they're seeing that the Ethereum gas fee is $10, $20 for sending a simple transfer, the best way to bring those users into EOS is just to show them they can do the same thing with zero fee. And the bridges, I think actually I used the word bridge the gap. I think bridge is the right word to be used here. So the bridges are being built right now between Ethereum and EOS, in terms where you can move the liquidity from Ethereum to EOS and EOS to Ethereum very easily. But again, it's not easy to resolve the issues of Ethereum by actually bridging to Ethereum, right? You need to boot up an ecosystem on EOS where 90% of the transactions are happening, or 99% of transactions are happening on EOS, and only few transactions are going to Ethereum. So that successful layer 2 building that is not easy. And if it was easy, Ethereum would have solved this problem long ago, right? So it's going to take time, but I would say that in general, there's a lot of progress happening right now, as I see, in the technology, like in terms of availability of technology. Even from Blockstart, we have issued a sample code which can give you like a transferability of tokens from Ethereum to EOS and EOS to Ethereum. So these are the kind of things which we are helping as much as we can, but it's a matter of actual liquidity coming in. Even if you build anything what you can build, it doesn't matter if you cannot bring the actual cash which to boot up the system, because ultimately Bitcoin was struggling for, let's say, 4 or 5 years initially. You were not able to go and use Bitcoin. Bitcoin was hardly like, of any value initial days, initial years, till the network effect happened. It took it quite a long time. Means we keep forgetting that Bitcoin was launched in 2008, and the most of the world learned about it almost 8 to 9 years later. In 2016-17, that's when the real first big bull market happened. So it took 9 years for network effect to happen in Bitcoin. We are just impatient these days. We don't realize that this even, and that was not like, we're not talking about a different era. This is like the whole Bitcoin era and the whole kind of this crypto era is just 12-year-old. So I think that's what we need to realize, that we are still too early. We still don't have enough people using the tech. So when we talk about community, bridging the communities, I think this is maybe a 0.1% of the whole world. The 99.9% of the world don't even know Ethereum or EOS. So if you bring the right tools and right products, they will not even realize that there was something called Ethereum or there was something else out there if you are bringing the right use cases. And there are enough market. I think people who were early in crypto, they went into this maximalism mode because of because it is decentralized. Anybody can talk about anything on Twitter, and you can start a fight. And social media has actually created divide in general. I think crypto also boomed in the same time when social media was booming. And as you can see in real world, in politics, everywhere, the division between people is at the peak. So that's what is reflecting into crypto communities also. It's just people love to defend themselves rather than learning and collaborating. So the best way to bridge communities, I would say, is just collaborate. Just don't worry about, it's not a zero-sum game. Ethereum, EOS, Cardano, whatever, it's not a zero-sum game. We are this wealth, like we are talking about $1 trillion today on crypto. A little while back, 1 year back, we were at $200 billion. We have gone 5 times in market cap. Everybody has enough space, and the actual target market size is thousands of trillion. Means if you look at all the derivative markets, all the stock market, if you look at like the whole finance world is huge. So there is enough space for every project to grow and find their own markets. And ultimately, the best technology can always displace more, and people will automatically, move towards a technology which works for them. And that's how it will happen. Means if you bring the right use cases, there is enough market for yours to even ignore completely the current maximalists. And I'm glad, I think recently, EOS is actually the narrative which Block One is bringing is Bitcoin and EOS together. So they're already bridging one community. I still hate it that Block One has never tried to work together with Ethereum. Always tried to do a Ethereum killer narrative. But again, these are challenges everybody faces, right? That's how they went ahead with the initial marketing, and that's how they did it. But I think what we are doing is we are building these tools. Like when we talk about Bridge, when we talk about the products we are building, we think that everything can work together. There's enough market, so that's how we can bridge the gaps. And end user will define. If we can bring more users to EOS than Ethereum for the same Ethereum liquidity, probably they will realize that EOS is helping them also. So that's how you can bridge further.
I'm so excited for ProFi, because I think that's one of the ways we're going to get a ton of users, because they said Block One before said whatever they're building, the ProFi tool, they said they're going to share profits with the users. So I think people are going to flock to that pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
I think B1 has always, like from the beginning, known the market that they wanted to target. And I think back to what Rahman was saying, like the market, I think they understand is big enough to where I think it would be good to work with Ethereum, but I think when you're pitching to companies, it's hard to make them see the value of Ethereum and EOS when it seems probably like more hops, more work when you could just use EOS mainnet and it has already the scalability and everything right there.
Yeah, I think so. I think, see, the good news is that DeFi has shown them how they can bring more participation. I think it's been like DeFi, I'm sure they're learning from it, what's happening in Ethereum DeFi by all this liquidity mining and so on. And I would be very interested in learning how they use the same principles if they really claim that they will share the profits with people who are bringing in the liquidity and also the users. But again, means these are the things which we just need to wait. But the tools are available, and I would say if the existing DeFi projects which are already being implemented by community, if they work together with liquidity of Block One, then it can create a like kind of snowball effect where Block One can do the ProFi, which is KYC and stuff. Like, see how Ethereum works. Ethereum works by all the stable coins, like USDC is brought in by Coinbase of the world, where everything is KYC'd and everything, and then you withdraw this USDC, and then people use that to boot the other ecosystems like these algo coins, like or Curve and Wi-Fi and all these kind of DeFi projects which came across in Ethereum world. So, but there is a role to play for both sides. What is missing in EOS is that regulated onboarding of fiat and easy access to liquidity. If you bring that, it's a no-brainer from there that how you can pay less fee and higher performance chain versus Ethereum. So I think it's a matter of probably, means of course it's again a guesswork of what blockchain is going to do, Block One is going to do. But if they are trying to fix that gap using ProFi, and if that really happens, then EOS will bring the same use cases of Ethereum at 100x the pace with the like a fraction of the cost. Then as a user, why would you bother? Means all those people who talk about, oh, KYC is a problem, decentralization is not there in EOS. Think about it. In Ethereum, how do you go into the Ethereum ecosystem? You have to go through a KYC exchange. You cannot really directly jump, and you cannot just go to any place to go and convert your US dollars to USDC or Ethereum or anything. So
you can set up a miner technically.
What do you mean? Like, you see?
Like if you wanted to set up an Ethereum miner, you could mine the coins that way.
Oh yeah,
is that what you mean? Getting the Ether tokens?
No, that is true, but that is, again, mining is totally different. I'm talking about DeFi. I'm talking about how do you bring, like as an investor, if you're just as a user of DeFi, where you're looking to earn yield, transfer money to each other, what do? You have to first convert your US dollars into crypto. And then that's what Ethereum is based on, right? See what was Ethereum's success till now? It was not the mining or anything. The success was ERC20 coins, DeFi platforms like DAI. Then the next layer was all these Wi-Fi's and Curve and all these new projects which came up in 2020. And now they are like all these synthetic assets and so on. But all of these, as a user, the only way you can participate is first you need to buy either USDC or Ethereum or Bitcoin and put it into the Ethereum ecosystem. And that is what is enabling Ethereum. What we don't have in EOS is how do you go and bring that first buying, other than buying EOS coin. Now, nobody wants to buy EOS coin because there's no other ramp of US dollar. Like, it's very difficult for you to go and use a stable coin in EOS. So these are the things which were missing. And if Block One can fill these gaps by using their own KYC exchange and bringing that liquidity on EOS, I think that will fix everything. That's what my view is. So I think that's what is probably they mean by ProFi, and I hope that it is. And but the question is, will that be running on how can they bring that liquidity to mainnet, and how can they connect it to the EOS token? I think that would be the interesting part, because this is what is making Ethereum successful today, and I think that's why I'm very, very hopeful of what they are trying to do with when they call about ProFi. And people who are negative about it, saying it's KYC or anything, they're not realizing that when you're touching actual liquidity, where you're talking about investors' money or a US dollar, there is no escape from it. And every place, even Ethereum and everybody, is using the KYC. There is no way you are buying crypto in most of the developed world without doing KYC.
Somebody said thoughts on the OCC announcement and implications for crypto EOS.
Oh yeah, I think the OCC announcement is great for two reasons. I think again, a lot of people are pretty satisfied. We as a venture fund, we are pretty satisfied with what we have done. We have been doing our own review of EOS is probably very safe in terms of public blockchains because already they never raise money. See, remember, EOS mainnet never raise money, unlike most of the other chains which directly raise money, and they are managed by a certain team. So from that perspective, the new guidelines saying public blockchains can be used is huge because that means, and I think more importantly, Brandon Bloomer retweeting it and using that as a promotion for EOS is also very positive. That means they agree that EOS mainnet can be used for this liquidity and this stablecoin movement. So if that announcement means that it will enable and pave the way for Block One to put all these liquidity onto EOS mainnet, I think that changes everything. And that's what we have been discussing in the last few minutes here, that everything depends on how much liquidity you can bring into EOS mainnet. And tools are available. We are ready to go and make everybody notice that how EOS can be way ahead of Ethereum in terms of no gas fee and fast transactions. Because even now, a common user doesn't like, already you're paying $20 fee, and then there is another option to pay $30 fee and make it your transaction faster. What that means is people who are developers or who are smart people in Ethereum, they're actually front running your transaction. Your transaction is sitting on blockchain. Everybody can see it. It's pending. And they can go and kill your purchase on DeFi by just paying higher fee. Now, these are the kind of things which are happening in Ethereum every day. Now, this is unfair. When they talk about decentralization, Ethereum is completely unfair for an average user. It's not blockchain, in my eyes. When you can front run somebody else's transaction by looking on chain, it is complete manipulation. And this is happening every day. These people who are smart, who have more money, who are able to put $100,000 versus your $10,000, they're cheating on you every day on Ethereum. These are the kind of things which I think people will see through them. Once EOS provides fast transactions, no option to front run, all those things, I would say this will change how the perception of DeFi brings on. These are all, like, again, as I keep saying, DeFi is still in early stages. It's an example. Like what Ethereum has done, only 200 people can participate in those projects at a time, because already if you saw what happened yesterday and last 24 hours, the Ethereum fee is like $100 for those kind of actions per transaction. So why that is happening is because suddenly 200, 300 people are jumping onto these new projects being launched. And this is the capacity of Ethereum. That's where they are hitting, that you have to just wait. Now, if you want to bring in 1,000 more people, they are not going to pay this $100 fee. And provided, even if you pay $100 fee, there is another person who is sitting with more money, and he's going to front run you by paying $120 fee. Think about that. Why would you, even if you're a whale, why would you come in and commit your money if somebody else can front run you? So these are the kind of things which we need to talk about from technology perspective, that what EOS can bring to the table. And I think it's a matter of just building and bringing the liquidity. And once those exit entry paths are there, the tools are there, I think it's a no-brainer. And going back to this OCC announcement, if we can believe at this moment, which I strongly believe personally, that EOS is probably one of the safest chain in terms of public mainnet, EOS is a perfect candidate. Who else will you go to right now as a running smart contract or a DeFi platform? I can't think of anybody else. Polkadot, people are saying, oh, because Polkadot is in top 10 and the price has moved up. They don't have a smart contract platform. They don't have a DeFi booted up yet. I'm sure they're a great team, and I'm sure it will happen, but they have to catch up to EOS in terms of implementation. They're not there yet.
Going back to Block One too, I feel like since the price was so low, everyone was mad at Block One, but I think they don't market EOS because of all the regulation and stuff. I think they keep quiet for a reason.
Oh yeah, I think that's very, very important. Means, and that was actually, we were like reviewing, like my partner in Blockshot Ventures, I think we do this in, and we talked about it in our last life's, end of the year webcast from Blockshot Ventures. And I think we posted that on Investing with the Difference YouTube channel also. We were talking about how we got attracted to EOS was because of their legal approach. And right from day one, when they did their ICO, the wording in that ICO and like document and the white paper was amazing. Like legally, they were always very, very careful from day one. So it's not just now. I think they have planned it so well, and they are playing a long game. They are not these people who are trying to just like everybody believes, oh, there is money and they ran away with funds and pump and dump and this and that. But look at the way they are planning it. The way they are doing every action is very careful, because they don't want to give an opening for regulators to come and go and kill whatever they're doing. So I think that is definitely very important to notice. It's frustrating because we also face that every day. It means we are also in US, and all the companies we have established, by the way, means I don't know, means many people don't know, means we have been actually launching products. We have multiple companies which are using EOS.io as a backbone. And I cannot talk about all of them, but I think some of them are in public domain. But I think, and we are also investing in different things with Blockshot Ventures. But what I see is, it's not easy to navigate this regulatory, kind of landscape, especially in US. And all the people who are moving faster, and you see all these tokens moving, and people are getting frustrated. All those are taking risks. And what we saw in last few weeks with Ripple, that's a perfect example that even after 7 years of successfully, taking your currency to all the way to top 3, and then getting the hammer from SEC, it's not fun. It means you don't want that. They are getting killed completely. Like every exchange is delisting them. Every platform is, removing them from in a matter of days. Now, you cannot build, you cannot bring that confidence into your product if you don't take the right kind of actions. So I think this is the perfect timing to see why EOS matters, and why they have done it the way it is. It's frustrating for sure as an investor, because people are looking at opportunity cost. People are looking at, oh, why did I hold EOS token when everything else was going up? But again, that is hopefully will pay out in long run, and also hopefully it will make the big difference on what is successful in future.
It's funny too, because I've always said as a token holder, I feel like I need to contribute something, and I feel like nobody else does that. Well, I mean, you do, and like a couple other people do, but a lot of the token holders just look at the price and just don't even care, don't even contribute anything.
And I used to say that, like even 1 year back or 2 years back, when all these, when I used to run this show more regularly, Investing with the Difference, I'll tell you, we used to talk about all these issues. People used to talk about the CPU issue and this and that. There are a lot of challenges EOS has faced at times. And I used to say, how many of you have ever even used it? Forget about contributing. Like 80 to 90% of those token holders were not even using the EOS mainnet products. They were not even participating and trying out. Like even a simple thing, I know like many people said, oh, it's only for gambling, and I don't, but it's a blockchain. I'm not a gambler, but I was actually participating in these casinos and these blackjacks and just to experience how the blockchain works.
Yeah, me too.
You need to go and experience these things. Like even Ethereum DeFi, I'm not saying, oh, I don't like Ethereum or gas fee, so I'm not going to play it. I do participate in Ethereum DeFi. We have to learn everything if you are in this domain, and then make a call. And that's what gives me confidence, because we have done everything. We have used all the chains. I can say in an educated way today, what are the challenges of Ethereum? We are actually even building in Ethereum. We actually are writing smart contracts in Ethereum. We are on EOS. So we can see the difference, and we can clearly see what are the challenges in each domain. So I think that is what the main difference is. Means a lot of people are just speculating, and this is probably why SEC should be interfering also. If you're just see, the whole idea of crypto is, and it was all about you doing yourself, like you participating, you running a node. What Bitcoin did was, you should run your own node, you should run your own validation, not you. And I think that was the basic principles. But nowadays people are not even using blockchain. People are not even like having their own wallets. People are just speculating on like a centralized exchange and expecting the token price to go up, and then commenting that how bad the It is. That's what is frustrating for sure. But again, I think that's the also natural because people are bringing their own money and they're looking for returns. So
I think the reason I was personally frustrated more than anything with was the marketing. The marketing as would be so critical for EOS, in my opinion, because we're losing a philosophical debate whether this is decentralized or Ethereum is decentralized. I think if there was more marketing, people would understand like, oh, okay, this isn't as centralized as we thought it is, and it would get a lot of people to use the main net. But at the same time, I understand like what Pickle's saying too is everything has to be done in a specific way to make sure that the regulators are okay, you know. So I kind of see both sides.
yeah, I would say that's where the challenge is, right? Means the marketing of a decentralized product is not easy because if you become owner of the project, like if you say, okay, EOS mainnet, who is the owner? Who should market? That is the question, right? Means it's a matter of community. Like, you know, the people have to be excited enough and participate enough. So if the participation will come, those people will talk and market. The chat, and I think what Ethereum has benefited from is the VC investments. Ethereum has benefited from all this money which was riding on it, and those were bag holders who decided that, oh, we have to go and promote, and all those VCs put in their own money to promote. And secondly, it has a first mover advantage. Means Ethereum enjoyed the first bull run. At that time, nobody else was there. When 2017 bull run happened, Ethereum was the only choice after Bitcoin, and a lot of people made a lot of money. So the community had money, and so they were able to go and promote and defend their bags. Which EOS, it participated in a bull run and it fizzled out very fast, but it was after that 100x and 1000x moves. Like what Ethereum saw was maybe a 10,000x move in some cases for people who came in early into Ethereum and at the ICO time. On the other hand, EOS has not seen that kind of money. In best case, EOS was like maybe 30-40 times, and that was very brief. And after mainnet launch, I think it was always sitting at maybe 10x maximum. So, and most of the people who came in late, they did not really see that money, and that's why the community did not have the, you know, they went into this downward spiral of negative thought process. So we have to understand that EOS launched right at the start of a bear market, and that impacted the sentiment and that impacted a lot of things. So this is where I think Ethereum has an advantage in terms of a lot of people who made money and who are willing to still continue and market and defend. So, all right, I guess I think we are almost closed at the end of the hour, and let's conclude. Let's take a very quick questions on the chat. I see. What about the financial product BB said would come? I think this is exactly what we were talking about through this show, about the Profi, about the liquidity they are promising to be brought onto EOS mainnet. It has something to do with Bitcoin, as they're saying. So probably a layer 2 solution for Bitcoin, probably a way to easily use your Bitcoin and move around, which makes a lot of sense. But hopefully it will have much more than that. Hopefully it will have the fiat on ramp, off ramp, because they're talking about KYC and doing it regulated way. And as we discussed during this early part of the show, I think that's the most exciting thing, which we are all hoping will happen in 2021 for EOS mainnet. Then the other questions are, how would this, what is the connection? How about connecting all EOS.io sister chains with one dApp? I think it's a matter of why would you connect. When you say connect chains, means are you talking about a single account? Means if you go and see what we have done with dApp account, it's already possible using LiquidApps. The question is, does the user even care? What are these EOS.io chains and what is the benefit it's bringing? As long as you can define those things are possible. But I think ultimately it's a matter of how do you go and make this relevant. Means technology is there for any use case you want. If you want to run a more scaled product across chains, that LiquidApps can do for sure. If you want to send assets from one chain to another, that is possible. I think that's what is the plan with something like HDSP and the bridge, which we already have up and running in test nets now, and which is ready to launch. So a lot of things are possible right now, but again, you have to define the use case. Means connecting chains, I think this is not really something we should be looking at in generic way. We have to define exact use cases, and technology is developing very, very fast. All right, so I think we will wrap up now. Somebody's asking price prediction, guys. As you know me for a long time, I've never ever indulged in that. I think one thing we can say is that it looks pretty much like there's hardly any scope to go down now from here, from EOS perspective, because a lot of negative things have already happened over the last 1 year. People have been very disappointed, and a lot of people have dumped it. So now I think I'm very happy to see, by the way, we should join the bullish channel on Telegram. Again, I would love to, see more people there. It's very, very refreshing to see a lot more positive talk about EOS, and I think that's what matters right now. All right, thanks a lot, guys. So, and thanks for encouraging. I think a lot of people asked for it. We have been busy building. Again, if you want to hear more of my thoughts and what we are doing with Blocks Adventures, do join us. Again, I would like to remind you, go to blocksadventures.com/events. You can register our DeFi webinar tomorrow. And you can join the meeting. You can ask questions live. It's a educational program, and we are investing heavily into DeFi, and we are open for investments as well as Blocks Adventures. So if you want to set up a private call with us, you can do that as well. Send me a note. But overall, I think it's a very exciting time in crypto world. That means while all of us here are from the EOS community, the kind of bull run we have seen, 1 trillion market cap is we hit now almost. This is just a start, means as we say to the investor community. So don't get stuck into this whole keep learning, keep educating yourself. While we are ourselves heavily invested in EOS, we are looking at everything right now, and it's about defining what your goals are, how much you want to participate. And I never believed in maximalism, even though there was at a time almost for 2 years where we were spent a lot of time in EOS, and we still are developing on EOS primarily because that's the best platform to develop on in terms of the technical products. But overall, I think we are involved in some capacity or other in almost all chains, and very heavily on Ethereum. So do contact us if you are looking for more details on how to participate in these projects, and what you can do for yourself, and in terms of investments, in terms of even as a user of the blockchain. Just keep learning. I think that's the major difference from which crypto brings. That was the promise of Bitcoin, that don't stop learning, don't become just stuck on one thought. Things keep evolving. As EOS community, I think we have evolved a lot, and I hope that means I myself evolved a lot. I was also started as an idealist on governance and all that. Some people are still stuck in that thought process. You need to change, adapt, and be ready for what market throws at you. You cannot be complaining and saying that the world did not turn out the way you had thought about. And that's how you make progress, and this is how you really go and do better for yourself as well as for the rest of the community. And that's what I strongly believe in. So don't hesitate, talk to us, and talk to each other, and think positive. It's a new year. Hopefully the crappy 2020, which I think a lot of people had, along with all the things happening around us as pandemic and politics and beyond, as an EOS community, I think the price action was also not great. I think the best way to turn it around is turning your thought process into more positive, in a positive way, and doing things, learning things, and helping each other. I think that's the most important thing I would like to end it with. So let's come together. Let's talk about how we can improve things rather than complaining about others and trying to adding to this divisiveness which this whole world is seeing today. And I think that's the most important thing for me in this new year. Again, Happy New Year to everyone. And again, thanks a lot to the bullish community, which pushed me into doing this show. Hope it was good. It was a pretty long discussion, but we will try to keep coming back. And I always love interacting with the community. It's just that we did not have time, and it was a crazy year with working from home and all those things. So hopefully we will do more of these in 2021. Thanks a lot. Bye for now. And once again, a lot of love from Investing with the Difference community. Thank you. Bye-bye.